I'm not gonna lie, it's really hard for me to describe this rivalry and their story in one word, but I do know for a fact that it was great nonetheless. Gingka and Kyoya was honestly what got me into the Metal Saga, and their rivalry was so compelling from beginning all the way to the end. As leader of the Face Hunters, Kyoya didn't realistically have an opponent that could stand up to his strength until Gingka came along and spun the block from everyone else. Creating an advantage for himself on top of a high-story building, the first battle was easily, in my opinion, the worst one. All I remember realistically was Leon stood in the center of the stadium and just activated Lion Gale Force Wall, and Gingka just simply countered him with one move, defeating him honestly with practical ease. Kyoya had a massive amount of room to grow and was hell-bent on defeating Gingka, turning his tweaker badge on Hall of Fame, going to Doji and wanting more strength, but I'm not gonna lie, seeing himself scare off a bunch of wolves was lit as fuck. But when he came back, like I said, Tweaker mode was activated and didn't give a fuck about anything and was willing to literally stomp on a blade with his steel-toed Tims. He comes back for his get back on Gingka, but instead of doing damage to Gingka, he did it to his own bay, and even after the battle which he lost, Doji put Leon to pieces and knocked his ass out cold. His change of heart showed when Madoka took him in and helped him rest up. He paid the favor by helping Jinka's friends pull up to the Dark Nebula organization, only to witness the massacre Ryuga put on Gingka and the greatest trash-talking piece in Beyblade. He went with Jinka's friends to help find him in Koma Village in Mehiyoma. Afterwards, he was showing how he was Jinka's #1 rival, and Hyoma took that personally, and it was settled at the Battle Royale, with Kyoya beating him, but something was off with Leon. Both him and Gingka made it to the final battle, but Kyoya was knocked out early due to pushing Leon beyond its limits. Shout out to Madoka for saving it and using her bait, which I never knew about until I rewatched this like a few years ago. Kyoya went off with his loner self, and Gingka proceeded to lose to Yu in the Royale. Now things have changed a bit. Both of them have to qualify for Battle Bladers, and both got stronger in each tourney they participated in. The growth that they were showing was evident as fuck. Kyoya winning another Battle Royale with him and Gingka in it, basically all the main bladers, made him the first blader to qualify. Gingka had his own obstacle course, losing his points to Phoenix and relentlessly got most of them back before settling things with Phoenix many episodes later. Now the tournament was underway, and as each blader defeated their opponents, Gingka got to the finals and Kyoya had to deal with Ryuga. I made a whole video on this battle, so if y'all want to check it out, feel free to, but it truly showed how far Kyoya came to become stronger and a straight willpower to fight Gingka. Unfortunately, El Drago was just too much for him, and their next battle had to be postponed until further notice. Now, I believe personally, Metal Masters brought this rivalry to a whole new level, and y'all know exactly why. So there's a new tournament. What else is new? For the entire world now. Kyoya defeated Tsubasa to qualify for Team Japan, but that wasn't what he really wanted. All he wanted to do was show Gingka his new strength he got through vigorous training, and backed out and traveled all the way to Africa to assemble Team Wildfang. They meet up, and with Kyoya's team up 1 because, you know, Nile put the work on Masamune, all he needed to do was beat Gingka to advance. And I know this battle for Kyoya fans leaves a sour taste in their mouths, and I'm one of them. Kyoya completely cooked Gingka, and it finally felt like he was going to get this weight off of his shoulders. The determination was finally going to pay off until he met the deadliest 2 words in anime history: plot armor. All Gingka had to do was scream, and he completely countered Kyoya's special move, which what he did to make that happen alone was insane. Gingka sent Pegasus flying, and Leon was ready to match him, but he knew he was outmatched. But Kyoya's battle IQ is so fucking good, using Lion Gale Force Wall mid-air to go with the flow of the tornado and soar higher than Pegasus, which blew my mind when I was a little kid. And despite all that, he didn't win it. It was a draw. Knocked both of the motherfuckers out and met up later all banged up along with their bays in a tag battle. I'm not going to get into too much because it didn't feel like a true battle and they were nowhere near 100% health or strength. Now let me use this weird analogy, but it might make sense. Imagine Kobe Bryant after he sunk those 2 free throws on a torn Achilles, and Klay Thompson in the NBA Finals against Toronto hitting 2 free throws on a torn ACL. Imagine those two 1v1ing. That's Kyoya and Gingka in this battle. Both of them was basically on one leg. And you had the best role players also duking it out, or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna lie, Tsubasa is low-key better than Masamune, but he was taking the Hall of Fame Tweaker badge to a whole new stratosphere with that fucking dark power. So Kyoya's team lost, and I'm not gonna lie, let me cook on this shit too and hear me out for my reason as to why Kyoya's team should have won. Gingka's father could have somehow rigged the shit for Gingka's team to get a second chance. I know for a fact that shit would happen. The entire world is cooking Gingka for nepotism. He gets all the way to the finals to beat Team Wildfang, and he beats Kyoya then and there. But I understand it completely retcons Spiral Force and all that. But this, I believe, would have lit a fire in Kyoya's soul like never before. His goal was to defeat Gingka, and since he did, he probably didn't know what else to do. But because Gingka got it back on him, it all resets for him and he even trains harder like never before. That's a fan's perspective, and I know that shit would get rejected by a lot of fans and developers, but I'ma live that scenario out in my delusional ass head. But after they won the tourney, Kyoya pulled up to save Gingka from Starbreaker and proceeded to take down Spiral Force. But I want to talk about the Kyoya vs Damien battle just a little bit here. Damien got his arrangement after he lost to Gingka, knowing that Kyoya never beat him. He was thinking this motherfucker got nothing on me, and it pissed Kyoya off even though it was kinda true. He never did beat Gingka before at all. But he beat him nonetheless. It showed his willpower and everything to show not only was he stronger than Damien, but you could argue in Masters he may have been stronger than Gingka. Let's not forget, Gingka got a new legendary bait known as Galaxy Pegasus in the beginning. He didn't know how to control it, but by the time those two battled, he kinda was able to. Kyoya had the same Rock Leone from episode 1 in Metal Fusion. The fact that he tied with him, should have won personally, showed all what you needed to see. This certified the rivalry, and it was something those two could only physically and mentally experience through their battles. The bond they had was getting stronger and stronger. Now we move to Metal Fury, where in the beginning, they had a 1v1 and it was cooking. But their base evolved as they got the legendary Star Fragment, and it had to be postponed because I guess you could say it was another draw on their rivalry. So a one-on-one was postponed for pretty much the rest of the season. And it was honestly all about tag teaming and training together to get stronger, and also to find the rest of the legendary bladers, and each had great battles. Kyoya's one-on-one with Aguma did a lot to just show Kyoya was not one to be fucked with. It was still crazy as hell to call him a house cat as well. Gingka had his battles with Chris and Dynamis and so on and so forth. When the final battle was going on and every bay got broken to the point where Jinka's Pegasus was the last one standing, Kyoya opened up. Not wanting to admit it, he was the reason why Kyoya kept pushing, got stronger, and evolved as a character. You can't mention his name without Gingka, and honestly the same applies with Gingka as well. Gingka ended Nemesis and saved the world, but Kyoya knew he wasn't done yet. He took down every other legendary blader and worked his way to Gingka. He wasn't going to challenge him until then. And what I love is that we don't know who won the final battle, which I felt like was a great closing chapter to that rivalry. Of course we will have our theories on who won that battle, and I don't know if it was confirmed or not on who won it. We saw Gingka afterwards in Shogun Steel and Kyoya for like a small glimpse, I believe. And I did not watch that series, and nor do I plan to, since I heard it's not that good. But overall, this was a rivalry for the books. One chasing his rival and pushing himself beyond his limits, while one was still evolving, and even Kyoya pushed him to become stronger as well. When both bladers respect each other and push each other to their limits, have fun but have a greed for victory against each other, that's how you know this was a goated rivalry. I'll always love them, and they were the reason why I got into Beyblade to begin with. Shout out to Ryuga as well. I'm assuming after his death or disappearance, those two were the top two in the world, and no one could touch them. If y'all enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and hit that sub button, and let me know your favorite battle in the rivalry. My next video is going to be about Yu-Gi-Oh! And just to be sure, Beyblade content will still be a staple to this channel. I just want to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos as well. Anyways guys, I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace out, and much love.